Oke. Semangat pagi, selamat malam, ESPN dan rekan broker properti sekalian. Bertemu kembali bersama saya, Ariko, selaku CMLO, Chief Marketing and Learning Officer dari ESP Indonesia. Kami dari ESP Indonesia selalu berkomitmen untuk terlibat aktif melakukan acara edukasi dan networking bagi rekan-rekan agen properti dan shareholder lain terkait bisnis properti kita ini. Ya. Malam ini hadir bersama dengan kita Bapak Hendra Setiawan selaku CEO dan COO dari ESP Indonesia. Semangat pagi, Pak Hendra.
Semangat pagi Pak Ari, semangat pagi dan selamat malam rekan-rekan properti semuanya di Indonesia dan kelihatannya kita juga kedatangan tamu nih dari Malaysia. Tadi beberapa ada
Ya,
yang dari Kuala Lumpur ya. Hello, good evening everyone. Selamat malam ya.
hai.
Ya,
Selamat malam semuanya. Good evening all. Ini seru banget ya Pak ya. Jadi memang
iya,
kita ini adalah komunitas global tanpa batas. Ya, jadi kita juga perkenalkan jaringannya kita selain di Malaysia, Singapura dan juga di Filipina untuk saat ini ya dan terus akan bertambah. Betul ya Pak Hendra ya.
betul
Dan
sekali Pak
kita
Ari.
sudah
Ya.
hadir di Indonesia.
Hmm.
Mantap banget nih Pak. Oke.
Ini topik kita
Dan
malam ini kelihatannya lain dari yang lain ya Pak Ari ya.
wah,
Kalau dari
lain banget
judulnya
nih Pak.
memahami kesempatan berjualan properti di Malaysia. Ya, jadi bukan cuma jualan di Indonesia ternyata Pak Ari ya.
Benar banget Pak. Karena udah tahun 2025 nih Pak. Kalau minggu lalu udah 2025 masih jadi agent broker properti saja. Nah, kan kita sepakat ya, kita harus upgrade diri kita ya,
Ya,
forward thinking ya. Kita jadi lifestyle agent. Nah, tahun
ya.
2025 ini juga kita juga buka jaringan ya tanpa batasnya kita ya. Jadi teman-teman nggak hanya cuma jualan di lokal Indonesia, tapi kita juga hari ini malam ini kita juga perkenalkan dengan Malaysia. Benar ya Pak Hendra ya?
Jualan barang Malaysia, Pak Ari ya.
Oh iya, dan spesial banget loh Pak. Ini nggak cuma dikasih tahu jualannya, tapi dikasih tahu juga peraturan-peraturan yang berlaku di situ ya. Karena setiap negara kan unik ya Pak Hendra ya. Seperti di Indonesia ada
Betul, ya.
keunikannya sendiri ya. Jadi memang nggak mudah transaksi di luar negeri karena itu banyak sekali agen di luar sana membatasi dia hanya di properti lokal saja ya.
Hmm,
Karena
ya,
mereka
ya.
tidak ngerti peraturan-peraturan berlaku di situ. Tapi komunitasnya kita, komunitas ESPN, hari ini Pak Hendra berhasil eh, apa namanya mengundang ya rekan ESPN juga dari Malaysia untuk hadir bersama dengan kita nih Pak Hendra nih.
Iya, ini bagian dari visi ESP ya, Pak ya. Kita memberikan platform dan wadah jaringan untuk rekan-rekan properti tanpa batas, ya. Tanpa
Betul.
batas negara, tanpa batas apapun lah ya.
Hmm,
Kalau
mantap
nggak ada
mantap.
batas, berarti cuannya tanpa batas juga ya, Pak Ari ya.
Cuannya tambah batas Pak.
Tanpa
Jadi
batas. Amin
teman-teman
ya,
nggak cuma
amin.
betul nggak cuma punya kenalan teman saja ya, tapi juga potensi cuan. Kan katanya agent properti harus 3C kan Pak, ya harus cincai, cengli, cuan ya. Yang paling penting
Ya,
itu cuannya.
betul, betul, betul. Ya, ya.
Oke, dan hadir juga bersama dengan kita nih malam ini Pak Hendra, ya ada Datin James Chiu selaku Managing Director of Polo Air Consultancy. Good evening, Datin James.
Yes, good evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen from Indonesia and Malaysia.
Good
Hai.
evening, Datin Jamie. Thank you very much for your time. It's
Oh,
great to
you're
have
most
you
welcome.
here.
Yeah, I want to thank ESP Indonesia also for this special invitation for me to share this session with all of you.
Yeah, yeah, it's an honor for us here to have you here, so we can get more insight about property in Malaysia, and we can collaborate. Hopefully, we can collaborate further, yeah, for our friends in Indonesia. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Ya, jadi teman-teman ini perkenalkan ya, Datin Jamie Chu. Beliau adalah salah satu um, ESP user juga ya. You are also ESP user, right, Datin?
Yes, and the CBD properties also powered by ESP.
Power by ESP. Okay. So this is our big uh, borderless community ya.
Yes, agree.
Ya, ya. Oke, oke. So, Datin, as we know that we are going to discuss about how we can sell property in Malaysia to
Mm-hmm.
people in Indonesia.
Right.
So I believe you have already prepared some material, insights, information and I would give you the floor so you can start explaining to us how we can do that. And later, I believe our colleagues in Indonesia will have some question and they can put in the chat box, or also they can open their microphone later at the end of the presentation.
Mhm.
And for the colleagues in Malaysia, if you have any question, please feel free also to ask on the chat box ya. Okay, Datin, go ahead. Floor is
Okay,
yours.
all right. So I will share screen my presentation.
Oh ya, rekan-rekan, nanti kita akan coba summary-kan ya dalam bahasa Indonesia supaya semuanya bisa jelas ya. Barangkali ada yang agak kurang bisa ditangkap, nanti akan kita summary-kan di bahasa Indonesia.
Okay, so today's session is about understanding the opportunities of selling property in Malaysia and MN2H. So I hope this presentation will give valuable insights to everyone here tonight. So I
Yeah.
will start with the map of Malaysia. Okay, as you know, Malaysia consists of we have 13 states and 3 federal territories. So as of right now, we have almost 34 million people in the whole of Malaysia. Okay, so why I want to highlight about the 13 states, because it is related to our real estate as well, as a
Okay.
foreign purchases. So later I will share more.
Oke. So, mungkin saya summary-kan sedikit ya. Jadi di Malaysia itu ada 13 states, atau kalau di Indonesia kita bilang provinsi ya. 13 provinsi dan 3 federal territory. Dan itu akan ada beberapa peraturan yang berbeda di setiap states atau provinsi tersebut di Malaysia. Nah, nanti akan dijelaskan lebih lanjut oleh Datin Jamie.
So why invest in Malaysia property? Okay, so I have actually um, will highlight 5 of the things that I feel that most people will look into. So the first one will be affordable property prices. So as we know, if we compare to many other countries in the region, the property price in Malaysia is relatively affordable and making it accessible to a lot of foreign investors. And the other thing will be our stable economy. We have a stable and growing economy, which is also a key factor for long-term property investment. And besides that, our infrastructure development is also well developed, including transportation, financial systems, and all these are important to support the real estate growth. So if those of you who have visited Malaysia recently, right, so you can see that there are some upgrading and new infrastructure that is being built around the city. We have the LRT, we have the MRT, and all these are accessible to a lot of the important key points in the cities. And in terms of ownership, it is relatively easy because we have a very straightforward legal framework for foreign property ownership and the minimal risk of natural disaster because we have no risk of natural calamities. We don't have extreme weather, and we have stable infrastructure and long-term value as well.
Oke, jadi tadi Datin Jamie menjelaskan ada 5 hal yang bisa dijadikan highlight kenapa orang berinvestasi properti di Malaysia. Yang pertama, harganya relatif affordable, relatif terjangkau, lalu ekonominya cukup stabil, sehingga kalau investasi properti itu aman, lalu infrastrukturnya bagus, sistem transportasi, sistem finansial, dan lain-lain itu bagus. Eh, dan ownership-nya itu cukup mudah untuk orang asing. Jadi teman-teman pasti tahu ya kalau di Indonesia kan orang asing akan sulit ya untuk beli properti. Tapi di Malaysia, pemerintah Malaysia itu mempermudah orang asing untuk beli properti. Dan yang terakhir yang disampaikan, resiko bencana alamnya itu relatif lebih sedikit dibandingkan dengan di negara lain. Infonya begitu ya. Oke.
So in terms of the land ownership in Malaysia, we actually have two. One is we call it the freehold properties, and the other one is leasehold properties. So the difference between the two is that freehold will give you an indefinite period of time of owning that property, whereas for leasehold, it is for a fixed term of years. So normally our leasehold property is up to 99 years. So when the foreigners purchase either of these two properties, they have to get consent from the respective state authority.
Oke, jadi di Malaysia itu kepemilikan properti ada dua jenis. Yang pertama freehold. Kalau di Indonesia ini mungkin mirip seperti SHM, hak milik ya. Yang kedua itu leasehold. Leasehold ini ada jangka waktunya. Kalau di Malaysia 99 tahun. Jadi ini bisa dibilang mungkin mirip seperti HGB atau strata title yang kita suka lihat di apartemen-apartemen di Indonesia. Dan foreigners itu dua-duanya bisa miliki either freehold atau leasehold. Orang asing tuh bisa beli, nggak harus leasehold ya. Oke.
Okay. So in the beginning, when you see the map of Malaysia, right, we have the 13 states. Okay, that's because land is a state matter. So for each state, there is a threshold for foreigners purchase. So if you look at the example here, we start with the state of Johor. So most of like the high rise, the strata title property, foreigners can only purchase 1 million and above properties. If they were to buy landed, then the minimum price that they can purchase is 2 million above. So every state, there is a threshold. So if you look at Malacca, Negeri Sembilan, in Kuala Lumpur, minimum is 1 million and above. So, okay. And in Selangor would be like Petaling, Jaya, or Subang Jaya or Sunway, if you're familiar with that location. They can only buy 2 million and above and under strata title. So each state, will have their own conditions.
Different condition, different rules ya.
Yes, correct.
Jadi tadi seperti disebutkan di awal, di Malaysia ada 13 provinsi, 13 state. Nah, setiap state itu punya peraturan yang berbeda-beda terkait pembelian properti bagi orang asing. Misalnya kalau di Johor, itu pembelian properti orang asing, kalau rumah yang landed house atau rumah yang nempel di tanah, itu minimal harganya harus 2 million atau 2 juta ringgit. Tapi kalau apartemen yang high rise itu minimum harus 1 juta ringgit. Nah ini kalau dikonversikan ke kurs rupiah itu sekitar, kalau 1 million itu sekitar hampir 4 M ya. Karena kursnya kan sekarang 3.900 rupiah 1 ringgit ya. Nah di negeri 9 itu ada minimumnya 600.000 untuk yang high rise. Jadi teman-teman di sini bisa kita lihat di Malaysia cukup bervariasi tergantung provinsi atau state-nya. Jadi ini adalah minimum nilai properti yang bisa dibeli oleh orang asing.
Okay. So as a foreigner, when you want to decide like where to purchase, right? So it is also better to check as to what is the minimum amount that they can purchase as a foreigner and in what location.
Okay. So, Datin, Jamie, we can share this presentation to our colleagues in Indonesia later?
Yes, you can.
Can ya, so we can use this as reference ya.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Nanti presentasinya akan di-share ya teman-teman di grup seperti biasa.
Okay, so these are the other states as well. Like I think Penang, a lot of you are familiar with the state of Penang, right? Penang.
For medication ya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Malacca, I think a lot also go over to Malacca as well.
Right. Yes.
Right. So these are the key point location that most of the foreigners will go to. Yeah.
Okay, Penang is 1 million. Malacca, which one is Malacca?
Malacca is here. also 1 million. So in
Ah,
general, it's
okay.
like 1 million.
Oh, even
Yeah.
500,000 ya
500
for high
is for
rise.
apartments, yes, apartments,
Okay, okay.
right. Yeah. So, okay, this slide I will share as expatriates, there are certain areas that they are very popular with the expatriate community. So I
Okay.
will highlight on the KL areas.
Mhm.
So for one, KLCC, I think that's where everyone goes to as a
That's the
tourist.
Twin Tower
And
ya.
that's where the Twin Tower is.
Hmm.
So if you've been there, you can see there's a lot of high-rise apartments, right? And
Yeah.
luxury condominiums and all that. So if in that location, because it's a central hub, so you have very good accessibility to the public transportation. You have the train, you have the LRT, you have the MRT, and in terms of shopping malls, there's plenty over in that area. So a lot of people like to stay in that location because it's very convenient.
Okay.
Ampang is an area where it's nearer to where the embassies are and also international schools.
Mhm.
Okay, so if those um, family that comes together with their children who wants to enroll in international schools, so they may prefer location like Ampang because
Okay.
it's nearer to these amenities. And Mount Kiara is also a very established expat uh, place. They have a lot of communities like Koreans, Japanese, and also the Westerners as well, because there's a lot of international schools in this area also.
Okay.
Yeah. And you have Damansara Heights. So this is more of an upscale residential area. You have more greens and you have more landed properties there, like bungalows, semi-Ds. And the other one is Bangsa. Bangsa is more, if you like nightlife, dining. So if you like to be in that area, so Bangsa will be the place for people to choose where they want to stay and invest in the property.
Oke. Ya, jadi teman-teman ini adalah 5 area yang biasanya orang asing suka tinggal ya. Yang pertama itu KLCC, itu di mana ada Petronas Twin Tower, di situ banyak kondominium yang bagus-bagus. Lalu yang kedua Ampang, itu eh, menurut Datin Jamie cocok untuk orang yang bawa keluarga dengan anak-anak yang harus sekolah. Mount Kiara juga sama. Lalu Damansara itu banyak ada bungalow, ada kondominium. Lalu Bangsar ini area di mana banyak nightlife, restoran, kafe. Eh, jadi kebanyakan di sini adalah orang-orang asing yang masih muda ya, yang masih senang nightlife gitu. Ya, oke.
So uh, next slide I will share as to once they have identified the place where they want to be located. So they have chosen their preferred property, right? So
Mhm.
then they will need to know about the procedure of buying the property. So this
Oke.
is a general guideline
Hmm.
as to what is the process flow and all that. So first of all, once they have decided on the property, if they buy with a developer, then they will sign a sales form. If they buy like sub-sale, um, they will also have to uh, sign a purchase form as well. And after this is done, then they will have to look into the financing of the property. So as a foreigner, you can actually get financing from the bank.
Oh, oke.
Okay, yeah. And then after that, they will have to provide certain documents to the lawyers, the solicitors, like the passport copy, contact details, and so on. So after this is done, then the lawyer will actually prepare the sales and purchase agreement and other documents. And after that, the purchaser will need to pay a 10% deposit.
Oke.
Okay. So once the 10% deposit is paid, then the lawyer will have to apply for the state authority consent. So once this is done, the consent is given out, then the purchaser will have to pay the balance of purchase price, and then they will go for the delivery of vacant possession of the property.
Okay. It seems simple ya, and there are not so many requirement. Ya, jadi teman-teman ini prosedur untuk membeli properti di Malaysia bagi orang asing. Yang pertama, ini cukup wajar dan seperti biasa di Indonesia, kita kalau ke developer itu ada form pembelian. Lalu kalau misalnya untuk ke yang secondary juga sama ada sub sales transaction dengan pemilik ya. Kayak LOI gitu ya, letter of intent untuk beli. Lalu ternyata di Malaysia orang asing tuh bisa minta KPR, apply for financing. Jadi bisa minta KPR dari bank di Malaysia. Bagi orang asing itu diberikan juga fasilitasnya. Lalu setelah itu tinggal memberikan dokumen-dokumen yang terkait kayak paspor, kontak, sama income tax number. Jadi nggak perlu ribet kelihatannya nih, cuman perlu paspor sama kontak details. Setelah itu menandatangani perjanjian jual beli, bayar DP 10%, lalu setelah DP-nya masuk, solicitors ini semacam notarisnya di sana akan mendapatkan persetujuan dari state, state itu ya government ya, pemerintahnya mungkin, mungkin BPN di sana. Lalu setelah disetujui tinggal dilunasi, habis itu bisa langsung uh, serah terima. It seems very simple, Jamie.
It's not
Are you
it's not
sure
really
only a passport is required?
of course like passport and some other documents that is required by the lawyers as well,
Mhm.
right? But these are the most important uh, key points. Some of the
Okay.
documents that is required. Yeah.
So
If
foreigners
let's
doesn't need to provide like a long-term visa or
for property purchase,
special visa.
no need
No need
because
ya.
only any foreigners without visa they can purchase property.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so long as they get the financing.
Mhm.
Sometimes the properties can't get to is because uh, they are not able to get the financing.
Okay.
Yeah, because we have foreigners that buy with cash as well. If they do not need financing, but if they do need financing, of course, then the bank will require them to give supporting documents. Like
Okay. Ya, ya,
yeah,
ya.
right.
Mhm. Ya, oke.
Okay.
Ya.
Okay. So when it comes to financing or mortgage, as a foreigner, you are permitted to borrow in Malaysian ringgit to finance the property that you want. And for foreigners, the bank on average can give about 50% to 70% margin for the loan.
Oke, 50 to 70%
Yes,
of the loan ya.
yes.
Oke.
So they will actually evaluate the individual's financial standing,
Mhm.
yeah, before they give out the loan.
Oke, jadi teman-teman di Malaysia itu bank di sana bisa memberikan fasilitas KPR untuk beli properti bagi orang asing 50 sampai 70% dari nilai properti atau dari pinjaman yang harus diberikan untuk beli properti ya. Jadi uh, lumayan besar. Jadi DP-nya kurang lebih 30 sampai 50%. Ya. Dan ini akan tergantung dari kemampuan finansial dari si individu tersebut. Oke.
Okay. So some other things that you need to take note of is also the legal fees for the sales and purchase agreement and also the loan agreement. So on average, the fees range from 1% to 1.25%. So depending on the property value, so there's a calculation as what is stated in the slide. So for
Mhm.
the first 500,000 is 1.25%, the next 7 million is 1%, and above that, then the rate is negotiable.
Oke, jadi ini fee untuk legal ya. Jadi udah ada standarnya 500.000 pertama itu 1,25, eh, 7 juta setelahnya itu 1%. Kalau lebih dari 7,5 juta ringgit itu negotiable. Oke.
So the other thing is the real property gains tax. So what this tax is for is when the foreigner decides to dispose the property, that means they sell their property, right? So if there is a gain, then there's a gain tax that they need to pay. So if the property is disposed within the 5 years of acquisition, then the RPGT rate is 30%. If it is after 5 years, it's 10%. And for the
Okay.
stamp duty tax, it's a flat rate of 4% on the transfer of property.
The stamp duty tax is applicable when foreigners purchase at the first time ya.
Yes.
Oke. Jadi ini adalah peraturan semacam BPHTB. Jadi kalau misalnya ada orang asing yang beli properti di Malaysia, itu langsung kena tax 4% untuk mendapatkan properti tersebut. Kalau di Indonesia kan 5% ya, di sana hanya 4%. Nah, yang membedakan lagi di sana kalau misalnya orang asing tersebut akan menjual properti dalam 5 tahun setelah dia beli, itu kena pajak 30% dari property gain atau kenaikan nilainya. Jadi bukan dari nilai jual, tapi 30% dari selisih dari harga jual dan harga beli. Tapi kalau lebih dari 5 tahun dijualnya, itu hanya 10%. Ini jadi misalnya beli properti tahun 2025 saat ini, lalu dijual lagi tahun 2028, itu kan masih dalam 3 tahun ya. Misalnya propertinya naik dari 10.000 ringgit menjadi 13.000, berarti yang selisihnya itu 3.000 dikalikan 30%. Seperti itu teman-teman. Nanti kalau misalnya masih ada yang kurang jelas bisa ditanyakan. Ya. Oke, Datin, Jamie.
All right.
Ya.
So, okay, now from the legal aspect of the property buying, so I want to introduce to everyone the MMPH program. This is Malaysian My Second Home program. So it's something that has been promoted since 2000. And over the
2000. Already
years,
25 years ya.
yes, because it started with the Silver Hair program, where they target more for the retirees. And over the years, they have changed the conditions of the program. And now the latest one was just announced last year, towards the third quarter of last year. Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. So I will start sharing by playing this video.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, you can hear.
When starting a new life in a foreign country, what concerns you the most? Is it the language barrier? In Malaysia, with its diverse ethnicities, cultures and religions, many people are fluent in Malay, English and Mandarin. This ensures that Malaysia is the ideal place to confidently establish your new home.
My name is Brian Gale. This is my wife Laura, and we've been members of the MM2H now for 12 years.
I'm Michael. I'm from Vietnam. So I had a second home program in the 2019.
我叫做 Andy，咁我太太咧叫 Kelly，咁我哋咧一家4口就嚟自香港嘅，接近第9年時間啦喺度住咗。
我叫白庆如，今年48岁，我在这里是陪小孩子读书。我2013年正式来马来西亚住的。
来ました、沖と申します。実際にマレーシアに移住してきたのは1年半ぐらい前になります。
안녕하세요. 제 이름은 김종호라고 합니다.
쿠알라룸푸르에 살고 있는 이수경입니다.
19년 정도 말레이시아에 살고 있습니다.
Malaysia offers an excellent quality of life at affordable costs, accommodating to the needs of people from different countries.
Oh, the living costs are very good.
我觉得马来西亚的消费水平不是很高，这里的物价呀、水果呀、蔬菜呀都很新鲜又便宜。
食方面抵好多，住方面亦都抵好多。
Medical, oh, very good. After the operation, my kids very well, not feel any pain.
医生的服務態度很好，而且醫療水平很高。
The health system is very good. They've got state-of-the-art facilities here.
整個城市發展而家馬來西亞係越嚟越進步嘅。
They developing very good. All the highway very comfortable.
私たちは今ララポート直結のコンドミニアムに住んでるんですけれども、ご存知の通りララポートは日本でなんていうのかな、日本人にとっては生活しやすい。
The education system's good if you've got children.
Here, international school, the quality good.
날씨도 좋고 그리고 안전하다는 거에 아이들을 키워야 하기 때문에 안전하다는 거에 굉장히
If you like dining out, this is probably one of the best places in the world to dine out. So many diverse cuisines. You know, you've got Korean, you've got Vietnamese, you've got Chinese, you've got Malay, you've got Indian.
Malaysia opens its doors, welcoming friends from all over the world.
如果有 MM2H 嘅身份呢，我哋係唔需要有雙重嘅交稅咯。
我可以去銀行開戶口啊，我可以買房子呀，可以置業呀，在這裡，在國際機場，它設定了一個第二家園專門的通道，所以我們每次回來進去可以跟馬來西亞人一樣，可以走專門的通道。
출국하는 레인이 따로 있습니다. 일반 사람들처럼 오래 기다리지 않고 그 길로 빠르게 나갈 수가 있습니다. 공항에서의 가장 좋은 장점인 것 같습니다.
僕プロゴルファーなんで、ゴルフ場はいっぱい行ってるんですけども、マレーシアのゴルフ場って日本と比べて地形のいいところにコースを作ろうっていう発想なんですね。だからどこ行っても結構みんないいコースなんで。
以前嘅申請就係只係申請人嘅父母先可以嚟啦，咁我哋 MM2H 而家改咗就係我父母，即係我唔係申請人啦，都可以過嚟。
Choosing to live in Malaysia can be a life-changing decision. If you're considering Malaysia's My Second Home MM2H program, the application process is straightforward. To apply, simply meet the following conditions. First, you are from a country that has established diplomatic relations with Malaysia. You are over 25 years old. Whether you are a first-time applicant or renewing your visa, it must be processed through the MM2H one-stop centre. You are allowed to receive long-term medical treatment in Malaysia. Children of MM2H participants can study at any of Malaysia's higher education institutions IPT accredited by the Malaysian government. You must reside in Malaysia for at least 90 days within a year. Bringing in funds, such as fixed deposits, qualifies you for tax exemptions. If a MM2H participant passes away during their stay, their visa can be transferred to the designated next of kin. If your application is successful, you and your family members must undergo a medical examination at a designated clinic hospital to ensure standardized services and fees. Once all the conditions are met, you can choose to apply for one of the 3 packages: Platinum, Gold or Silver package. Choose Malaysia as your second home today. Malaysia welcomes you. See you in Malaysia.
馬來西亞歡迎你。
Chào mừng bạn đến Malaysia.
Selamat datang in Malaysia.
ぜひマレーシアにいらしてください。お待ちしています。
말레이시아 오신 걸 환영합니다.
Welcome to Malaysia.
Okay, so that is the video for MM2H.
MM2H ya, Malaysia My Second Home. Ya, oke, teman-teman mungkin ada yang baru dengar ya, Malaysia My Second Home ini adalah program yang dibuat oleh pemerintah Malaysia untuk memberikan visa jangka panjang untuk orang asing. Visa ini tadi kalau di videonya disebutkan bisa untuk mendapatkan fasilitas kesehatan, lalu bisa sekolah, lalu bisa juga mungkin kerja juga. Nanti kita dengar ya dari Datin Jamie penjelasan lebih lanjutnya.
Okay, so a little bit of background about Poloy MM2H. We are a registered licensed agent by the Ministry of Tourism to assist foreigners to apply for this program. So for myself, I have actually been assisting doing MM2H since 2007. So it's about 19 years that I've been doing MM2H program. So
Okay.
yeah,
It's already a long time, yeah?
yes, a very long time. Yes. So what is this MM2H? So this program is actually initiated and launched by the Malaysian government to allow foreigners from countries that has diplomatic ties with Malaysia on a social visit pass. This is a long-term social visit pass that gives 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years visa with multiple entry, and it is renewable.
Wow, oke. Jadi teman-teman, MM2H itu long term visa seperti tadi saya udah sampaikan ya. Bisa 5 tahun, 10 tahun, 15 tahun, bahkan 20 tahun. Dan bisa di renewable. Jadi ini visanya luar biasa ya, lebih panjang dari masa berlaku paspor di Indonesia. Dan itu multiple entry visa, dan bisa di renewable, bisa diperpanjang lagi. Oke.
Right. Okay. So what is the objective of this program? Is that it is actually a rebranding from the retirement program. So it is now an economic generation program across various sectors like the finance, property purchase, domestic tourism, healthcare, and education. And the government initiative is to attract high-income professional and qualified foreigners to stay in Malaysia for a long term under this long-term social visit pass. And it is also a program to strengthen Malaysia's position as the top choice in the region by enhancing its unique selling point, example, family-friendly environment, the widespread use of English, and also the affordable standard of living.
Oke, jadi MM2H ini sebenarnya rebranding dari program sebelumnya yang disebut retirement program atau program pensiun di Malaysia. Nah, sekarang diperluas menjadi long term social visit atau MM2H, dan itu memperkuat juga untuk mendukung pembelian properti di Malaysia, untuk mendukung tourism di sana, untuk mendukung healthcare dan juga education. Dan yang mereka unggulkan dari program ini adalah bahasa Inggris yang hampir semua orang bisa bahasa Inggris di Malaysia, dan juga standard of living atau kualitas hidup yang baik tapi cukup murah atau terjangkau.
So what are some of the benefits in this program is that it allows multiple re-entry, meaning that once the applicant is approved under this program, they are able to go in and out of Malaysia anytime and at any period of time. So there's no control as to when they can come in, when they cannot go out, and so forth. And the other thing is that the whole family can apply now, meaning 3 generations under one application can apply. Example, you have the parents, so the husband, wife, children, the parents and parents-in-law. So meaning you can bring the grandparents to come together as well under this program. The other thing will be the exemption of foreign income tax and the high approval rate and the fast processing. The other 2 things that I think of is also if in Malaysia, if you have a visa, then only you can open a bank account. So as a foreigner, you cannot just walk into the bank and request to open a bank account. You must have a certain type of approved visa to open a bank account. So under the MM2H, once you get the approval, then you can open a bank account. Yeah, so this is also one of the advantage as well. And the other thing is, if you're under MM2H, there's a possibility that when you want to buy a property, your loan margin can be slightly higher.
Loan margin higher, ya. Oke.
Yes.
Oke, jadi ini beberapa keuntungan kalau kita memiliki MM2H visa. Jadi yang pertama multi entry uh, visa. Hmm, Lalu whole family eligibility, jadi satu aplikasi itu bisa untuk 3 generasi, mulai dari satu keluarga, suami, istri, anak, bahkan orang tua dan mertua itu bisa mendapatkan visa MM2H dengan satu aplikasi. Lalu pengecualian untuk uh, pajak pendapatan luar negeri. Lalu juga approval rate-nya tinggi dan processing-nya cepat. Lalu tadi ditambahkan oleh Datin Jamie, kalau udah punya visa MM2H itu bisa aplikasi rekening bank di Malaysia. Lalu tadi satu lagi adalah sorry, the last one, what did you mention?
You may have a chance to get higher loan margin if you purchase a property.
Oke, jadi kalau misalnya kita minta KPR atau orangnya udah punya punya eh, punya MM2H visa, itu loan marginnya atau fasilitas KPR-nya bisa lebih tinggi, gitu.
Okay. So why is Malaysia is now a popular destination for foreigners to live, work, and retire? One thing is because of the cost of living, and we are a country with multilingual, our diverse culture, and I would like to emphasize on the quality educational system as well, because a lot of my clients, the reason why they apply for this program is they bring their kids here to study into international schools in Malaysia. Because in Malaysia, we have a lot of different international schools that have different syllabus. So we have international school that teach Cambridge IGCSE syllabus. We have Australian International School. We have a US-based syllabus that they teach. And also we have like Korean school, we have Japanese school. So there's a lot of options for the families to consider when they bring their kids here to study. And the other thing is also our healthcare system. Malaysia is actually very well known for our quality medical and healthcare facilities. A lot of our hospitals here actually have one of the most advanced equipments for a lot of medical treatments. And also infrastructure. We have good infrastructure, and we have very good residences as well, like property, high-end luxury condominiums, and of course like food, easy to adapt, and you can retain your citizenship even when you apply for this program. So this is even a long-term social visit pass without you having to surrender your citizenship.
Oke. Ya, jadi ini beberapa kelebihan ya kenapa kita atau Malaysia itu membuat program ini dan kenapa orang asing mau ngambil. Yang pertama, biaya hidup di sana relatif lebih murah atau dan terjangkau. Mungkin kalau dibandingkan dengan di Indonesia kurang lebih aja ya. Tapi untuk orang-orang asing di luar Indonesia mungkin lebih murah. Lalu yang penting lagi, bahasa Inggris di sana hampir semua orang bisa bahasa Inggris. Dan di Malaysia itu lebih lebih bervariasi untuk budayanya karena banyak orang asing yang sudah tinggal di Malaysia. Yang mungkin salah satunya karena ada program ini. Lalu sistem pendidikan juga bervariasi di sana. Jadi kalau misalnya mencari sekolah internasional yang pakai program dari Inggris, pakai program dari Korea, pakai program dari Australia, itu ada semua di sana. Kalau di Indonesia mungkin kita cuma bisa ketemu IB, lalu Cambridge sama British ya. Kalau yang dari Korea atau sekolah-sekolah dari Australia itu mungkin belum masuk ke Indonesia, tapi di Malaysia katanya udah ada. Lalu ya tentunya dengan culture atau budaya yang bervariasi, makanan juga bervariasi, entertainment, kualitas kehidupan itu lebih baik juga. Dan tadi yang satu yang ditekankan terkait fasilitas kesehatan, ya seperti mungkin teman-teman udah tahu juga banyak orang Indonesia yang sekarang berobatnya ke Malaysia karena di sana memang banyak yang bilang ya, ini mungkin teman-teman bisa cek, di sana itu alat-alat di rumah sakitnya lebih canggih dibandingkan alat-alat di Indonesia, kualitasnya lebih bagus, tapi katanya malah lebih murah daripada di Indonesia. Mungkin teman-teman bisa double check sendiri ya. Ini saya banyak dengar cerita sih dari rekan-rekan yang lain ya. Seperti itu.
So this upcoming few slides will just show about Malaysia's ranking
Iya.
in the international.
Okay, Datin, Jamie, sorry, the time seems to be limited.
Okay, no problem.
Would you mind to speed up?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, Ken. So, okay, these are some of the ranking, but the one that I want to highlight is uh, the global medical tourism.
Yes.
So, as you know, Malaysia is well known for medical tourism, and this is a slide from Malaysia Healthcare Travel Council. The numbers of volume coming into Malaysia and also the revenue has increased, and these are the top treatments that most of the people come to Malaysia. They will come for all these treatments, and also the different countries of patients that come over here as well.
We
So
can
as you
see
can
Indonesia there, yeah.
Indonesia, yes. Actually, Indonesia is one of our biggest market for healthcare.
Okay.
Yes, right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is a statistic up to 2024, the number of applicants for MMPH. So you can see here, Indonesia is one of the top 10 country. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay. Number
yeah,
9. Yeah.
number 9. So as of now, we have about 1,000 plus applications already approved, and we are getting more applications going in. And this is overall now, since MMPH started until now, we have about 57,000 MMPH holders.
Okay. 57,000. That is a lot of people.
Yes, yes, correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
since we established that program. Okay, so I will quickly run through the requirements. So now there's actually 3 categories. Okay, so age 25 and above, you can apply.
Okay.
Silver, gold, platinum. The different requirements is on the fixed deposit. So you can see you have USD 150,000, you have USD 500,000, you have USD 1 million. Okay, and
Okay.
then the MMPH term depends on which category, 5 years, 15 years, 20 years. And we look at the property purchase price. Each category has got a minimum requirement. So if you apply for the silver category, minimum purchase price is 600,000 ringgit.
Okay.
Okay, but you can buy anything that is more than 600,000.
Minimum ya.
Yes. So for gold is 1 million, platinum is 2 million. Now, in terms of business investment and employment, only the platinum category allows you to set up a business and to be employed. The other 2 can't.
Okay.
Okay. And then you have another category, which is the special economic zone. This one only applicable to the project in Johor, which is Forest City.
Okay.
Okay. And
Only in Johor ya.
only in Johor as of now. So for dependents, you can bring the 3 generation. Kids below 34 years old, not married, not working in Malaysia, can also be in the program. And minimum stay, if let's say the age is 25 to 49, they are required to stay in Malaysia for 90 days a year. If you're over 50, you are not required to do the minimum stay. Okay, and one good thing is the fixed deposit that you place, you can withdraw 50% for property purchase, domestic tourism in Malaysia, for education purpose, and for medical purpose.
Oke. So, teman-teman, jadi ini yang barusan 2 slide terakhir adalah syarat-syarat untuk mendapatkan MM2H. Dan ternyata ada 3 level MM2H, ada silver, gold, platinum. Yang jangka waktunya berbeda-beda. Silver 5 tahun, gold 10 tahun, platinum 20 tahun. Nah, untuk yang platinum sendiri itu bisa digunakan untuk bekerja, bahkan membuat bisnis atau usaha di Malaysia. Sementara yang silver atau gold itu tidak bisa. Untuk detailnya nanti bisa teman-teman lihat di slide-nya ya pada saat kita sudah share. Nanti bisa kita bahas juga kalau misalnya ada pertanyaan lebih lanjut.
Okay. So these are the other fees for different categories you can go through later on as well.
Okay.
When I share the slides with everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, so for each category, there's application charges. These charges is fixed by the government. So everyone will need to comply with the charges, and it includes the fees for the main applicant. Okay. And this is the checklist of those who want to apply. Usually, when they're keen, we as a consultant will guide them what to do already.
Okay.
Okay.
This is like a procedures for application, yeah. Okay.
Yes. Correct. Okay. So this one is the flow chart of what happens. So usually, once the submission is done, processing takes about 3 months, and then once the approval letter comes out, we will help the client to open bank account, do medical checkup, and then bring their passport to the immigration to get the MMPH visa sticker.
Okay. About 3 months, yeah. All right.
About 3 months.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is a sample of how the approval letter looks like, and then immigration will state what are the fees that they need to pay to immigration. So this is a sample for everyone to see. So this is the flyers. And yeah, so the sales mission that I went to Beijing, Korea, and Australia to promote MMTH with the Tourism Malaysia and also the minister.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
that's it.
Okay. Okay, now it's already 9:02, but we have some questions, Jamie.
All right.
Do you
Okay,
mind to continue with the questions?
no problem.
All right. Okay, let's start with the last question, yeah, and then we go top. So the question is from our colleague in Indonesia.
Mhm.
For Indonesian, going to Malaysia doesn't need visa. Is this MM2H is related with PR or permanent resident? That's the question.
Okay. MM2H eventually does not lead to any permanent residence. It is just given you long-term visa. So what happens, let's say if you apply for the silver category, right? It's given you 5 years. Then after the 5 years is up, you can do a renewal for another 5 years, and then another 5 years until you want to terminate the program. Then you can withdraw the fixed deposit that you have in the bank, and then you terminate that. Yeah. So it doesn't
Okay.
give you a pathway to permanent residence.
Oke, ya jadi Pak Alfian ya dari Jamie saya sampaikan MM2H itu bukan permanent resident tapi visa long term. Misalnya tadi yang diberikan contoh adalah silver itu bisa 5 tahun. Kalau misalnya kita sebagai orang Indonesia ke Malaysia itu sekali datang hanya maksimal 30 hari. Tapi kalau kita punya visa MM2H itu bisa langsung 5 tahun nggak pulang-pulang ke Indonesia. Jadi misalnya ada yang perlu medical atau perawatan jangka panjang lebih dari 30 hari, ini bisa digunakan MM2H gitu. Atau misalnya ada yang mau menyekolahkan anaknya di sana, itu bisa juga menggunakan MM2H. Seperti itu ya Pak Alfian. Mudah-mudahan menjawab. Oke, lalu next question is from colleague in Malaysia. Is it mandatory to buy property through a certified real estate agent in Malaysia?
Yes. Any property transaction has to be through a licensed agent. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
it is required. And also in terms of MMPH, right? At this moment, the program requires you compulsory, you need to buy a property, and you have to hold the property for 10 years.
Okay, so for MM2H require foreigners to purchase property, ya. Ya. Oke, jadi di Malaysia itu kalau kita beli properti harus melalui certified real estate agent, jadi agen properti yang sudah tersertifikasi. Lalu terkait dengan MM2H, itu diwajibkan orang asing untuk membeli properti untuk bisa mendapatkan program MM2H. Ya.
Wah, ini keren banget ya Pak Hendra ya. Karena kalau di Malaysia berarti agentnya itu nggak sembarangan ya Pak ya, harus yang sudah tersertifikasi ya.
Betul, Pak Ari. Nggak bisa
Oke,
sembarangan ya, harus sertifikasi ya.
ya.
Di
Di
Indonesia juga
Indonesia, betul,
gimana
kita
nih?
lagi go in Pak.
Nanti
Nah,
harus tersertifikasi ya, teman-teman ya.
betul, betul. Karena PP
Hmm.
28 tahun 2025 itu sudah terbit Pak di bulan Juni kemarin. Dan itu akan mewajibkan seluruh broker properti di Indonesia wajib WNI ya dan memiliki sertifikat kompetensi Pak. Nah,
Oke.
prinsipalnya juga sama, Pak. Ketika buka kantor harus punya sertifikasi sebagai member broker properti, Pak. Nah, jadi tidak
Hmm.
seperti saat ini karena kali ini di PP 28 tahun 2025 keluar bulan Juni ini
Iya.
tingkat resiko untuk di broker properti ini sudah naik, Pak, dari rendah itu menjadi menengah tinggi.
Dari rendah jadi
Gitu.
menengah tinggi.
Betul,
Oh,
Pak.
ternyata beresiko juga ya menjadi broker properti, Pak Ari ya.
Betul, karena ya kita banyak bersinggungan sama PPATK ya Pak ya, karena
Nah,
ada
ya,
risiko pencucian uang dan lain-lainnya ya.
betul,
Saya rasa
betul.
sama seperti di Malaysia ada AMLA juga ya Pak ya,
Betul,
anti
betul.
money laundering ya. Di Indonesia kita ada PPATK juga,
Oke.
begitu.
Wah, ini informasi tambahan yang baik sekali nih, Pak Ari. Jadi ada PP 28 yang baru terbit bulan lalu. Itu
Yes,
mungkin masih disosialisasikan ya oleh pemerintah ya. Bahwa
betul Pak.
sekarang diwajibkan semua broker properti itu harus WNI. Jadi melindungi kita sebagai WNI untuk bisa menjadi broker properti. Dan melarang orang asing menjadi broker properti ya, Pak Ari.
Ya, ya
Iya, iya,
betul
oke.
betul. Jadi kalau mau bertransaksi properti di Indonesia wajib broker properti yang di Indonesia. Oleh karena itu kita juga menghimbau teman-teman untuk segera memiliki sertifikasi kompetensi nih. Ya, ini kesempatan buat kita juga jadinya.
Iya, iya. Oke. Oke, makasih Pak Ari untuk tambahan informasinya ya. Kita
Iya,
lanjut ke pertanyaan selanjutnya ya. Ada beberapa,
pertanyaan terakhir
ada,
tuh Pak, ada dari user ya.
oh ada dua lagi nih.
Yes, ada dua pertanyaan.
Iya, for the financing, what is the document needed to submit for foreigners?
Okay, for financing, usually they will need like your payslip. They may need, your 3 months or 6 months payslip
Mhm.
to justify your income, and then also can be your appointment confirmation or documents that can substantiate how are you able to do the repayment,
Oke.
depending on the loan. Yeah. So and now in Malaysia also, we have to do the AMLA check. I think just now Pak Ari did mention, right?
Yes, yes.
About the AMLA, yes, because it is something that we as a licensed agent, we need to do that for all our customers. Yeah, so the bank will also do this type of due diligence as well.
Oke.
Yeah.
Oke, jadi untuk mendapatkan KPR ya di Malaysia, teman-teman, itu kurang lebih sama atau mirip dengan di Indonesia. Jadi kita perlu memberikan bukti bahwa atau bukti pendapatan yang kita dapatkan, misalnya dari slip gaji atau mungkin dari bank account dan lain-lain yang bisa menunjukkan bahwa orang tersebut memang mempunyai kemampuan untuk membayar pinjaman tersebut. Lalu ada juga background check yang terkait dengan money laundering atau pencucian uang, atau kalau di Malaysia disebutnya AMLA. Ya. Oke. Eh, pertanyaan terakhir, last question, Jamie. All state only allowed strata title property. So I think this is related with the purchase of property at different states. Are all states only allowing strata title?
As a foreigner, you can purchase a landed property as well, depending on the threshold, the minimum price required.
Okay.
So example, like if you buy in KL address, right? So you can actually, because the minimum threshold is 1 million, so you can buy a landed for 1 million, or you can buy a landed for sort of high rise. But let's see.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it requires you to only buy strata, even though it's landed or high rise.
Oke. Oke, jadi teman-teman untuk di Malaysia, orang asing bisa membeli semua tipe properti, baik itu rumah yang landed atau di atas tanah, baik itu apartemen atau high rise. Kalau strata title tadi kan lebih terkait dengan high rise ya atau apartemen. Jadi nggak harus apartemen, tapi bisa juga rumah. Selama itu memenuhi kriteria minimum nilai properti yang diwajibkan di setiap state atau provinsi di sana. Ya. Okay, I think that was the last question that we have. Oh,
Tapi
sorry, there
sepertinya
is one
pertanyaan
more
terakhir
ya.
ini buat kita kayaknya nih Pak, dari Rahadian Gema ya Pak ya.
Iya.
Are there any school for property brokers? Ya, di Indonesia, in Indonesia there is an RAB. RAB have a Pusdiklat, Pusat Pendidikan dan Pelatihan from Yayasan Asosiasi Real Estate Broker Indonesia. Yeah, but now we have to what's it called? LSP, Lembaga Sertifikasi Kompetensi. Ya,
Ya.
mungkin begitu bisa menjawab untuk Rahadian Gema ya.
Mungkin pertanyaannya buat Datin Jamie juga nih, Pak Ari.
Oke.
Kelihatannya para hadian ini tertarik untuk di Malaysia. Apakah is there any specific school for property brokers in Malaysia?
Oke.
Because he gave example in Indonesia there is CHESL in University of Indonesia ya.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
in
do
Indonesia we
you
have
think
like a
any
university program for property brokers. How about in Malaysia?
oh okay, in Malaysia we do have a few institutions that if let's say for those who want to pursue to get their real estate license as an agent, right?
Mhm.
There are a few schools like we have public schools, we also have private schools or institutions that have real estate course as well, either diploma or degree. So there's a lot of schools that have this type of courses for real estate related subjects.
Oh, there are
So
a lot of
in
schools
terms
ya.
of yes, we do. Yeah.
Hmm.
Some of the students they actually either take it as a diploma or as a degree level. But then, but if let's say you're talking about to become a real estate negotiator, so we have to go for a class for a 2 days class and some assessment as well to be registered as a real estate negotiator in Malaysia. And then every year we need to go for a renewal course uh, to 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 be renewed to practice the following year.
Okay. So 2 days class and then assessment, and then it has to be renewed every year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Indonesia, what we have,
And this one,
yeah, sorry.
oh, okay. This one is actually we have to be registered with the Board of Real Estate in Malaysia.
Registered with the Board of Real
Yes.
Estate.
Yes.
Oke. Ya. Kalau di Indonesia LSP 3 hari ya Pak Ari ya. Trainingnya
Ya,
lalu assessment ya.
bukan LSP-nya Pak, training dari
Training dari
RAB-nya
RAB itu
4 hari.
oh 4 hari ya.
Ya, lalu ikut untuk sertifikasi kompetensi.
Iya.
Nah,
Assessment
sertifikasi kompetensi itu berlaku 3 tahun, Pak.
3
Kemudian akan
tahun.
RCC.
Ya. Di Malaysia ternyata setahun sekali harus di renew Pak.
Wah, mantap.
Oh, iya.
Mungkin buat menjaga kompetensinya kali, Pak.
Betul
Ya,
mungkin ya.
betul.
For
Oh.
us, if let's say those who want to pursue to open their real estate agency, right? We have to. I think the course will probably take you 3 to 5 years to study for the license, and then we have to go for the interview. So that process is more longer. It's much longer.
Oh, okay. It's
Yeah.
quite tedious process ya.
Yes, correct.
Ya. Okay. Probably one last question here. In your slide, Datin Jamie, I see you have 2 logo, right? One is CBD powered by ESP, and the other one is Polo Air.
Yes.
I believe you mentioned that you are part of both organization, yeah? Part of
Yes,
CBD and also part of Polo Air.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
CBD, I'm actually co-founder for CBD as well. So I I'm a director in CBD Properties. Polo Air is more of just doing Malaysia my second home because we need a different license. So that's why. But my focus is more on Malaysia my second home.
Okay, so that means as a property broker or agent, we can also be a representative or an agent for Malaysia My Second Home ya. Not only selling property, but we can introduce Malaysia My Second Home.
Yes, correct.
Ya, oke. Ya ini teman-teman, ternyata minggu lalu kan kita sudah diajak menjadi lifestyle agent ya dengan Vivere. Nah, sekarang ada tambahan lagi nih, bukan jual properti aja, tapi kita juga bisa menjadi uh, referral atau agent untuk Malaysia My Second Home. Ini menarik sekali ya Pak Ari ya. Tambah luas nih ternyata
Wah, keren, keren, Pak.
jangkauannya nih.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Jadi yang selama ini kita cuma denger-denger aja, nggak ngerti apa gunanya. Sekarang bukan hanya kita tahu ya, bahkan kita juga dapat channelnya nih, Pak.
Iya, betul.
Yes.
Ini Datin Jamie sudah men-share kontaknya di presentasi, tapi
Ya,
nanti kalau misalnya butuh bantuan bisa kontak ke Pak Ari ya sebagai ISP
betul?
Indonesia untuk menjembatani ya Pak Ari ya ke
Betul,
Malaysia ya.
betul banget.
Karena kita merupakan bukan salah satu ya, mungkin the one and only representative ISP di Indonesia ya Pak ya, ISP
Yes,
Indonesia.
kita master licensor di Indonesia, Pak.
Ya. Jadi nanti teman-teman kalau misalnya tertarik untuk melakukan kerjasama dengan Datin Jamie di Malaysia, silahkan kontak Pak Ari, bisa kontak saya juga dengan ISP Indonesia untuk proses selanjutnya. Ya.
Iya, benar banget. Kita sudah share untuk WhatsApp link group ya. Monggo teman-teman bisa join di WhatsApp link group. Di situ ada saya, ada Pak Hendra juga. Jadi ada pertanyaan-pertanyaan apapun di situ kita akan segera replay ya. Dan mohon izin teman-teman, sebelum kita tutup acara ini, teman-teman boleh menyediakan sedikit waktu untuk mengisi form feedback kita supaya kita tahu apa saja yang harus kita tingkatkan dan kami juga butuh masukan nih dari teman-teman. Topik apa lagi sih yang teman-teman kira-kira butuhkan untuk kami angkat ya. Nanti kalau ada masukan dari teman-teman, kita akan carikan narasumber yang pas banget buat teman-teman. Begitu ya. Nah, mungkin sebelum penutup dari Pak Hendra, mungkin kita bisa dengar dari sedikit penutup ya dari Bu Jem bagi rekan-rekan semua agent properti di Indonesia.
Iya. Datin Jamie, do you have any last words for our colleagues in Indonesia?
Yeah, I welcome everyone to to contact me anytime, or Pak Ari also if you have if you need any assistance with any clients looking into foreign Malaysia market that they want to buy Malaysia property, and also with the MM2H as well. We have the team here that is ready to assist ESP Indonesia. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this opportunity to work with everyone in ESP Indonesia.
Alright, thank you very much Datin Jamie. Ya, jadi rekan-rekan, Datin Jamie sangat terbuka ya untuk mengundang teman-teman semua bisa berkolaborasi. Silahkan kontak Datin Jamie atau melalui kami di ISP Indonesia, melalui Pak Ari, melalui saya, untuk bisa berjualan properti Malaysia di Indonesia dan juga memperkenalkan MM2H di Indonesia. Dan saya rasa ini bukan cuma untuk orang Indonesia, tapi di Indonesia juga kan ada beberapa ekspat ya. Mungkin teman-teman suka ketemu nih, ada orang dari Timur Tengah, ada orang dari Amerika atau manapun, kita bisa juga tuh jualan ke mereka. Ya, ke orang-orang Timur Tengah, orang-orang Amerika, atau orang dari Jepang, dari Korea ya. Sekarang kan banyak yang buka-buka usaha juga di Indonesia. Itu potensi juga teman-teman. Ya.
Betul banget tuh Pak. Dan serunya lagi Pak, tidak perlu menguasai seutuhnya ya terkait dengan kebijakan di Malaysia. Teman-teman yang penting sudah ngerti apa yang dimaksud dengan program ini ya. Dan detailnya nanti tinggal kerjasamakan dengan rekan kita di Malaysia, ya ada Bu Jen di sini, ya beliau akan membantu secara totalitas. Betul ya Pak Hendra
Iya,
ya? Bahkan
betul.
kalau teman-teman tidak bisa dampingi, kirimkan kliennya melalui kami ya, dan kami akan follow up kliennya hingga tuntas. Begitu.
Betul sekali,
Dan
Pak Ari.
dan tentunya, ya namanya juga kita agent properti ya Pak ya, walaupun di sini ada rekan-rekan lain dari stakeholder yang lain, saya lihat tadi ada dari developer, terus ada juga dari notaris, ada juga dari rekan perbankan ya. Namun jelas ketika kita merefer untuk properti di Malaysia, ketika beli propertinya itu tentunya ada cuan ya Pak bagi kita,
Pastinya,
betul
Pak
kan?
Ari. Harus cuan dong,
Oke,
Pak.
begitu Bu Jen, there is a cuan for we have to gain
Sorry?
something, right? Like a commission gitu.
Yes, for any introduction, let's say for the Malaysian my second home, right? So there is a referral fee that will be passed on to those who referred the cases to us. Yes.
Oke.
Oke,
Iya, iya.
mantap nih.
For the
Ada
details
referral
can be
fee buat
discussed
kita.
later ya.
Yes. Tapi untuk detailnya teman-teman, kita japri ya.
Iya,
Karena ini kontennya kan untuk umum ya. Jadi kita nggak bisa open terlalu di sini ya.
iya.
Oke, ini seru banget nih Pak. Di kolom chat juga ada sapaan dari Mr. Direk ya. Itu
Welcome to
welcoming
visit
us to
Malaysia.
visit Malaysia. Sama
Hmm,
kami juga mau welcoming dia rekan-rekan dari Malaysia come visit to Indonesia ya.
yes, yes.
Betul. Nah, jadi teman-teman ya, kita punya komunitas ini, komunitas global kita tanpa batas, ya. Jadi teman-teman ketika nanti jalan-jalan ke Malaysia, tidak usah khawatir kekurangan teman, ya. Jadi tinggal datang ke situ, tinggal cari kantor-kantor yang sudah menggunakan ESP atau
Powered by
empowered by
ESP ya.
ESP. Nah, di situ tinggal ngomong, saya dari Indonesia, apalagi kalau teman-teman sudah jadi ESP-an, ya. Maka tinggal sapa, hai, kita sesama ESP-an. Nah, seru banget.
Betul sekali, Pak Ari.
Yes.
Dan bukan cuma Malaysia, ada juga di Singapura dan Filipina ya, Pak ya.
Betul banget. Nah, topik kita minggu depan, ini kita masih bicara komunitas global juga nih, Pak Hendra.
Iya, Pak Ari, betul, Pak. Minggu
Oke,
depan kita dari
Singapura ya.
Singapura ya.
Oke,
Oke.
itu negara-negara tetanggaan teman-teman ya. Favorit investasi dari orang Indonesia, kalau tidak ke Malaysia, tentunya Singapura. Ya, dan teman-teman sudah tahu program yang dari Malaysia. Next, minggu depan jangan ketinggalan, on time, stay tune juga di channel kita kali ini. Ya, hari Kamis, jam 8 malam, waktu Indonesia Barat, kita akan bahas terkait properti di Singapura. Ya, dan teman-teman, mau kan punya teman-teman lagi ya yang dari Singapura. Jadi bukan hanya dari Malaysia. Oke, mungkin ada
Betul, Pak
kata
Ari.
penutup dari Pak Hendra, COO dan CEO dari ESP Indonesia, bagi rekan-rekan ESP-an dan rekan broker properti serta stakeholder di Indonesia.
Ya, saya hanya mau mengucapkan terima kasih nih ke Datin Jamie. Thank you very much, Datin Jamie, and also our colleagues from Malaysia, yeah, for joining our Zoom tonight, our talks tonight. It's really great to have you all here. Dan juga terima kasih banyak untuk rekan-rekan di Indonesia yang sudah mengikuti Zoom ini, dan juga terutama rekan-rekan yang rutin mengikuti Zoom ini setiap minggu, ya. Mudah-mudahan kita semua bisa berkolaborasi, bisa bertumbuh bersama, bertambah besar, dan makin cuan untuk teman-teman semua. Saya rasa itu, Pak Ari. Terima kasih.
Oke, demikian teman-teman acara kita di malam hari ini. Namun ada satu hal lagi yang saya perlu sampaikan. Ya, jadi kita mohon partisipasi dari teman-teman. Sebentar saya share. Ya, dan nanti kami akan share juga di grup WhatsApp ya. Jadi ISP Indonesia kita sedang mencoba untuk berkolaborasi ya dengan salah satu praktisi ya, termasuk tokoh juga ya, yang bergerak di bidang neurocommunication. Jadi beliau itu mempelajari terkait neuroscience ya, dan beliau adalah pengajar juga di UI ya. Jadi kita sedang mencoba merancang jika teman-teman merasa perlu untuk peningkatan ilmu, silakan diisi kuesioner berikut ya di dalam kolom chat, teman-teman bisa isi. Dan jika peminatnya banyak dan atensinya bagus, kami akan usahakan untuk buat workshop ini. Begitu ya. Nah, jadi sekali lagi teman-teman jangan lupa join ke dalam YouTube channel kami ESP Global _ID nyalakan loncengnya, subscribe, dan share video-video yang berguna bagi teman-teman dari rekan-rekan sekalian, ya. Dan kita turut kembangkan bisnis properti di Indonesia. Salam dari kami, ESPN, dan kita see you next week. Thank you
Terima
semuanya.
kasih semua. Thank you
Thank you, James.
everyone.
Thank you, Direk. Thank you all.
Bye, good
Selamat
night.
malam. Have a
Ya,
good evening.
Okay.
ini di Malaysia sudah tambah 1 jam nih Pak dari kita ya. Kita
Iya,
hampir
udah jam
10. Ini
10 p.m. ya, more than 10 p.m. in Malaysia.
iya, sudah mengganti hari.
Hmm.
Oke, thank you. See you all.